Welcome out, gamers and gamettes, to this RGL.gg Sixes invite match going on between Witness Gaming and Morning Light here on the beautiful CP Sunshine. I am Alto, joined at my side with Rogue, Dolphin behind the camera as always. Rogue, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. Excited to see what seems like it'll be a decently close match on my favorite 5CP map.
Yeah, definitely. We, again, as stated on the top, we have Witness Gaming coming in against Morning Light. Witness Gaming, named after the eponymous Heavy Main, I believe it is, sponsoring them, as they've had a bit of a rough start to the season, coming out on this 1-3. Morning Light, however, coming in 2-2 after taking what was, I believe, an upset win over Corsia in that Golden Cap last week. We've been told that they are a very strong 5CP map. So I believe that would put them as early favorites coming into this. But, you know, lots of big names on both teams here that could potentially be making plays. So never know until we get into it.
I think that's what makes this such an interesting matchup, because so many players are names we're pretty familiar with and are some pretty tenured players on their classes. But, you know, Sai is very famous for having some very strong DM, but I'm hearing that Sin Karma offers a lot in the DM area as well. Plus Smiles and Yosh not only being renowned scouts of many years, but excellent snipers as well, pairing up against Sandblast and Alpha. So it's anyone's game.
Yeah, Rogue and I, both Highlander medics. Put your puke emojis in chat for that one. So a little bit more experience with some of the Witness Gaming players, especially those scouts. But the pedigree of the players on Morning Light, especially with Psy, Sandblast, and, you know, Alpha in there, cannot be denied. As for Sin Karma, I'm personally super excited. I've never gotten to watch him play before. The only thing I know about him is Daffodil saying he has quote-unquote psychopath DM. So really excited to see that potentially come out and maybe be a bit of a game changer going forward. But yeah, roster's up on screen right now. As you guys can see, Witness Gaming will have Cuckoo Kachu ringing for them. We've not been instructed as to who that is. If chat knows, let us know. But yeah, Rogue, I mean, I know, you know, we were both talking about Sin in the beginning of this. Any other players you're really looking out for?
I noticed that Soapy Meister has been turning some heads over the past couple seasons. I think I'm most excited to see the Scout and Sniper gameplay, of course, from our boys, Yosh and Smiles, over in the Highlander realm. But of course, Asian is a name that we've seen over many years of Sixes, but Virgil is one I'm not so familiar with. So, of course, the game always comes down to how teams manage these Ubers and handle their pushes. So, whoever lives the most wins in terms of medic. So, there's going to be a lot of questions that these teams are going to be asked.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like we do have 12 in server right now, and as we say that, we lose Soapy Meister, so maybe going to be a little bit longer until we get going here. But Dolphin was about to say it. Dolphin preempts me on the stream. What's your prediction for this one, Rogue?
Ooh, so yeah, as we had discussed, there was quite the upset last week from Morning Light against Corsia on Metalworks on this 5CP. So I would slightly favor them, especially having the little bit better of a record, but they also have a roamer, so it's tough. This is a nice sniper map, but I think to be safe, I'll still go with Morning Light then.
Can I get some rounds on that?
Yeah, there'll probably be a couple rounds at least, I'm sure.
I meant
I'll go 5-3 then.
All right, I was thinking of a 5-2 myself for Morning Light. I'm hoping that some of the players on Witness Gaming can step up and make some good plays on here. But yeah, just again, looking at that, you know, the pedigree and experience of those, you know, that high level sixes Morning Light has, I'm pretty sure they should be, you know, as definite favorites, if not a lock to win this match. Yosh sitting in spec, Soapy Meister has yet to return, so just a little bit of time here, as I believe it was Maka said in chat. Sin, Karma, and Cuckoo, I guess that is his name, were leaders of destructive criticism last season. So not a ton of notable experience for Cuckoo, but you know, if you're getting rung in an invite match, you probably can hold your weight at the very least. So gonna be maybe another thing that I think could tip this game a little bit more into Morning Light's favor is having that ringer there. anytime you lose someone in one of these matches, it's never a good thing. And I believe this was more of a last minute ring too, so some synergy definitely going to be down.
In a lot of cases, as you can imagine, having a medic or demo ringer will be probably the worst, but maybe scouts will even be second with how pivotal they are to the combo in the medic speed boost meta for sixes. So I guess you are pretty lucky if you have to ring a soldier of all things, but we're gonna have to keep an eye out for maybe uncoordinated bombs or maybe some hard times on mid fights as we have our first ready up.
Yeah, Soapy Meister still not in the server. We're nearing the 15-minute obligatory Highlander start time, so consider us used to this. As yeah, well. I guess you know what. Let's talk about Sunshine a bit, since I'm kind of stalling things to talk about on the players. Otherwise, you mentioned this is one of your favorite sixes maps. So why?
Well, I really enjoy, obviously there's 3 points, right? I think the mid has a lot to offer in terms of you have very many options, obviously, to play passive, to play aggressive, to even roll out on one of the flanks and things like that. So you have the whole world open up to you with a lot of this structured high ground surrounding the point. I enjoy that the seconds have pretty well-defined places for each team to safely stand, but there's also even ways of holding passively and going for interesting sacks and interesting off classes. And of course, the last is very wide, but has these such small doors that are very spread out compared to maybe some like Gully Wash or Process. So teams can get a little creative with how they're holding it, but then have to be very creative and efficient with how they enter into the last.
Definitely, and I think it plays as a pretty standard 5CP map. Nothing too out of the ordinary. Other than I think maybe that structured high ground, as you said, not on every single 5CP mid, but this one again definitely plays a lot into it. We just between the big bell tower on the point, both Legos, the sheds, and the roofs over Cafe, you've got a lot of possibility to add height into those fights. I have good memories of this map from running Quick Fix Soda Popper and Gold Highlander on it. Back when you could stick a heavy on the head glitch at last and have him be fully invulnerable. I've played the map more since, and those changes definitely worthwhile. Had some really close matches on this map myself, and it can really make a difference when you're on a map that you like. So hopefully the teams maybe have that, as I'm really running out of things to say right now.
All good.
I think we got ready ups, please.
Yeah, they're slowly trickling in here. I'm going to be particularly looking out for, Sandblast has been one of my favorite opponents to play against in Highlander, and sometimes he just gets so angry that he unplugs his headset and frags out, so let's keep an eye out for that as we start our first mid.
Yeah, definitely. I am going to be focusing on Sin Karma and that Psychopath DM to maybe come through with a quick hook for Witness Gaming right here, and both demos will get in at about the same point. More health for Sin right here. So he's gonna go try to get some stickies, and really fast bomb out of Warwick's gonna take out Alpha. Or that was a pre-run kill. Sai going down though, so no demo right now. Warwick's gonna be traded out, but the demo advantage may be a little bit more prevalent. Alpha getting really aggressive in towards the choke. Sandblast too going behind right now, but the frags are going down. Asian the first to drop. Cuckoo takes him out. And we have Virgil still up right now, but not if Sandblast has anything to say about it. Trying to clean up the kills, gets the med, baits into Valley where Dingo is there, picks himself up a 2K. Sin Karma, the only one remaining, and despite the mid-fight going hard into Witness's favor right off the bat, great comeback from Morning Light.
You think it's all over after that first hot pick onto the demo man, but with so many angles you have to protect your medic from on these mids, and no way of getting them back out once you deep onto their Tetris. Unfortunately, they take out Virgil, and the rest of the mid follows in suit.
Yeah, 20% ad for Virgil despite dying second. Must have been able to meet up with his team faster, I think, due to the early death of Asian in that mid. So again, this 20% ad, not anything I'd really expect for a push right now. Bit of a stalemate right now, some spam going on, just feeling out the other team. No sacks yet, no one up on off classes. So Dingo with a little bit of aggressive positioning in Cafe, gonna back out though.
We even have Witness Gaming playing very far back on the bats, expecting that they might go for they might see an early bomb coming out of Morning Light because of perceived slight advantage, but Morning Light is preparing for the same, as they're not even aware of their slight disadvantage themselves. But now that we see both Ubers coming up, it's time to see what Morning Light is able to offer in terms of sacks.
Yeah, I mean, they are on the mid here, so within this 0-0, you would be expecting them to be the ones more active to make the first move. And there is Soapy going in deep, going to drop Virgil with the perfect sync rockets, takes him out. Soapy and Dingo going to go back in as the counter sacks come out, trying to salvage anything from this. But with that med drop, that is not a good sign if you are Witness Gaming. Lots of players for Morning Light in Valley right now. Asian and Psy looking to get through. Sandblast going to help clear out that choke, and into second they'll move, not even having to use the Uber.
Soapy Bites is one of those players where your team's like, hey, drop the med. He says, okay. Just hits a perfect sync, a really low, concise bomb, landing directly onto the medic when nobody is looking. He had his team pressure into Valley a bit to distract Witness so that they weren't watching the skies through choke, and he was able to nail the drop first try.
Yosh, the genius on Engineer, gets his gun up to level 3 right there. Right as the Uber comes in from left side. Tons of point presence right now for Morning Light. No frags, though. Walrek's going to be found out in short order, though. So is Cuckoo, and the frags are going in their favor. Sai gets taken out by Yosh. The heavy on Smiles doing his best. Levitate Soapy Meister takes him out, and a very, very good defense here. The push is not over. Asian in really hurt down by Sewer. Probably going to be forced to back out through Dungeon, yeah, or no, even through Lobby as those stickies come out. Just Asian and Sandblast surviving, so great defense from Witness without having Uber.
They perfectly baited the point where they realized how far back the point capture is worse, so they're able to stay in last and stay alive. Sincar just a bit too fast ahead of his team, and now the Morning Light respawners are here. There's trades going back and forth. Virgil has now 100% Uber, but Soapy Meister comes in. Huge air shot onto Smiles, and now Virgil has to use the Uber just barely onto Yosh by themselves.
Yeah, huge impact player coming out right now. Drops one Uber, forces the other to be, well, not entirely worthless, as Dingo does get taken out with it as well, and Virgil keeps his life. They will get second off of this, but with a 60% ad for Morning Light, this point, you know, unless they can pull out another super strong defense right here, they're just going to take it right back and be forced into last.
When you're Morning Light in that situation, you're thinking to yourselves, okay, if we let them come into us, they're going to use the Uber exactly how they want. So if we stuff ourselves into them and stagger their entrance into this point, they're going to get so caught off guard, and look what happens now. Full advantage for Morning Light, working their way right into the shutter, completely zoning out Witness Gaming, not even attempting to contest this as they back off to last with 70% ad themselves.
Yeah, silver lining, Virgil was not put in any danger. You know, the ad swings back here, but having Uber ad on last defending doesn't really do you too much unless you're feeling really confident about your DM fight, so likely just going to be sat on for a bit. Virgil is really aggressive with everyone else in lobby right here. No, they are going to use aggressively in right here. Sai and Soapy kiting really far back. Looks like Asian's nowhere to be found. They might not even get any frags with this, so Alpha caught in the back end right there, left side of lobby. They will cap this back up, but the leapfrog continues, and almost another 60% ad for Morning Light.
I'm really enjoying, we saw Sin Karma get caught out the first time, but actually Witness is even trying to pressure this a bit before they lose this advantage. They have only 15% to make something happen. Sandblast is back up now, they got the respawner, and now it's a 6v6 again. They're trying to make their way through Valley, realizing it's just not quite enough time, and Virgil manages to make it all the way back out onto second as they try their damnedest to get this Uber in time, but it looks like it's a bit too little too late, Alto.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of playing aggressively like that. You can sometimes find some really good catches, but, you know, teams, again, with these players, unlikely to do that. We see Walrex going in, knowing that they're not really going to be able to defend this. Tries to get the force out, will be unable to, though, and lobby control swiftly going over to Morning Light. Back on the defense is Witness. Yosh up on Sniper this time.
Yeah, difference. Ooh, hot and fast bombing from Soapy Meister, and even some pressure from Alpha going in deep all the way, and they managed to kill Virgil. That's a drop onto last, 100% ad for Morning Light.
That is a Uber crackling medic's corpse in the spawn room. Could not hit that Banny Bind fast enough, and not good looks for Virgil right here. As granted, an Uber pop there, you know, probably doesn't really do too much, as I believe the Sackers died anyway, but you do not want to be seeing that coming in on your last defenses. It's now full ad for Asian. They have time to wait for spawns. Yosh forced onto NG right here.
This is that time. You look for their off classes, find their medic, see where's the gun, and take your time with it, right? You still have 70% of them to build as the Uber comes in up top onto Sandblast and Sai as well. The gun is keeping them a bit staggered here, but now the soldiers enter, now the final scouts collapse. Just now, witnesses emerging from their spawn and able to pressure them back.
The Smiles heavy though.
Smiles just with his dying breath attempts to block it. They step off the point with a few stickies from Sin Karma, but able to clean up the frags at the very end.
Yeah, a lot of those frags were really delayed from Morning Light to the point where if you weren't looking at the health bars, you may have thought that this was going well for Witness, as I did, until, you know, the cavalcade of the scout triple kills came in. Then suddenly it's just Smiles getting, you know, orbital cannon off the earth. They go down, and we're on another mid here, 1-0 for Morning Light.
Oh, Sin Karma is a very fast death here. Witness is going to have to come up with something if they even want to stay into this mid. They send Cuckoo Q up onto the high ground, but Virgil is getting a little bit caught out.
Behind
now.
Gets the market card, that's a Virgil!
Oh,
taking a play out of Jay's book right there. That is going to be a, almost, I believe, a full wipe from Witness. And they're snowballing right into second.
It's finally our first market gardener of the evening, and now I'm ready to watch some Team Fortress. But what do you think there, Alto, about committing your medic when your demo dies so fast? Do you think that was the right play?
Well, we saw Virgil commit to that same spot both mids, regardless of whether or not Sin Karma was alive. And in the first mid, it arguably backfired for them as he got corralled into the enemy valley, where he went down. And then this time, it works out even less when he doesn't have a demo man. Uber coming in from lower, gun gonna go down really quickly. Smiles on the heavy early, as this is a very split last push. Both teams have one side of the map to their own. Cuckoo coming in on the bomb. Warwick's gonna be the first kill. Cuckoo following in later, but Sai is down. Sandblast gets an arrow right at the last moment. Soapy going down, as will Cuckoo. So slight, or even numbers actually right now. Slight health advantage for Morning Light, but they'll be forced to back out. That Tomislav, not something they want to push into anymore.
That what a defense from Walrex there, Soldier for Witness, where he got a little bit behind and juggled, where he was just doing his best to stay alive and distract two players for almost the whole duration of that Uber. I think if all 6 players from Morning Light got in, that would have been a very different last hold, but Walrex able to keep his team in the game.
Some aggression in second right now, even with the Uber ad for Witness. Oh, here comes in Soapy going for another one. Not going to be 3 for 3 on those bombs. Gets taken out right there, but it did buy Asian enough time to have Uber. So numbers add, but no Uber, as it looks like a aggressive push through Cafe may come out.
We do have even Ubers, but look at this. Sandblast getting a delicious 2K on the flank. And now Sai is even taking point here in Choke. Getting juggled is bound a little bit as they do force the Uber out of Virgil. But dropping quite a few players, and even poor Dingo going down to 6 HP on the bell tower. Doesn't quite crater, but this is going to give 100% ad to Asian.
Yeah, did not even have to use there, just the aggression coming out. That's, you know, why we said there's so much caliber on this team. Sandblast able to pull that 2K out. Soapy in super big, chasing Walrex out into last right now. Virgil safe for the moment, gonna hit Walrex with that arrow. Somehow, only Alpha gonna really go down there for Morning Light, and only Cuckoo, so 1 for 1, but again, second cap, and Morning Light's just sitting outside of last, where they've been the entire time.
We're looking at both teams trying to build here. Asian actually meeting up a little bit late with his teammates, but, you know, 30% not quite enough to go in on unless you're really committed to it. But already Alpha's on Sniper. Yosh actually went back off Sniper, now onto Engineer. But I'm sure Ubers will be evened out here before we see any action.
Yeah, and we hear Virgil calling right there. Asian at 80 should come up. Yosh will get this level 3 up in time, so, you know, now it'll take 3 pipes instead of 2, like in the last Uber. Slightly more of a damage sink, but it looks like we will have a pause coming in.
Well then, I mean, just now, Morning Light is working their way to start getting room for Alpha here, as Alpha is even taking that little point of contact into lobby as Sniper. We're looking for Alpha to get some kind of a drop, or maybe a big pick onto a demo man, perhaps. Alternatively, if you happen to get a really good pick, then you can imagine, since Sniper is not a real class, you can pretend that you're just 5v5 in that case and go for your own sack and quasi stalemate there. But, and also I'll just remind the folks at home, you know, the pauses are about 90 seconds into the future compared to now, so this isn't this little nail biter isn't exactly where we left off. We'll have to see where it picks up.
Yeah, very possible someone's DC'd, or alternatively a point's been capped, which would mean a 2-0 for Morning Light, and then maybe there was a pause after that, maybe looking to get either Rio back in or, some other setup. But for now, I mean, just as the overall kind of pace of the match, it has been dominated by Morning Light. I don't think Witness has taken mid yet. That first mid fight looked really good for them until they just got a little bit overconfident, maybe overcommitted a bit, let themselves eat too much damage from, the soldier rockets in Valley. And after that, turnaround by Morning Light, they had the one good last defense, but really haven't been able to make anything, positive happen. They had an Uber ad pushing into mid, but Sandblast gets that 2K, and that push goes down the drain, and they find themselves right back on last.
You'd think, like, after we saw those back and forths of the Uber, and just now it's been only one round loss in 10 minutes, so luckily not quite a roll, but it is like you said, where if you're always, just barely not folding under the pressure, and you're always capitalizing on those smaller advantages, over time that turns into points, then those turn into rounds, then those turn into whole games. So especially now with Morning Light being in the driving seat here, I wish I remembered there's some kind of statistic where, like, if you're on your own last, there's only some kind of percentage that you'll be able to win the round, and I think it's less than 20. Like, unfortunately, the website no longer exists, but there is a lot that Witness is going to have to bring to the table and change up if they want to start taking rounds back.
Yeah, perhaps some spoon avoidance as well, as I think that was the hypest moment we've seen so far, as the Market Gardener came in and took out Virgil on, I believe that was on second. Oh, no, was that on mid? I think that was on the mid where they were getting rolled. I'm not sure. One of the two. Just anytime you see that weapon in the kill feed, you gotta smile a little bit.
I like asking the question, Alto, did you beat your opponent or did your opponent lose to you? Right? So there's a difference if you're playing poorly and they capitalize on it versus the other team just playing better and winning because they were playing better. And so far, I'm seeing in kind of these closer engagements where it does come down to the wire, it looks like Morning Light has been a little bit more proactive and a little bit more accurate maybe in some of their shots and their plays where, yeah, when we see these medics are trying to escape with ad or disad, whatever it is, that Virgil just happens to be dying a bit more often. These mids, like you said, or even when they do have some kind of an opening on the first mid, or when they had a poor mid on the second mid, losing your demo right away, they weren't able to win either of them, and it still was pretty coordinated from Morning Light and not on the opposition. So far it does feel like Morning Light is playing a bit hotter out of the two teams, but Witness definitely isn't out of the game yet.
Oh, definitely, and we have on Witness's note, we've been alerted that this is a tactical pause coming out from Witness, so want to get some strat callings in, maybe for this last, maybe for the next time there's a mid fight, one of the two. But yeah, other than Psy going down on that initial mid fight, it really does not feel like Morning Light has left many errors up for Witness to take advantage of. And when you're the underdogs coming in on that, if the team who's the favorite is playing almost to their max potential, then you're very hard pressed to find advantages anywhere. And I think it's been admirable that, we are, well, I guess the clock's been ticking now, so it's been about a 5-minute pause. We're 10 minutes in, and for how long of these 10 minutes they've been, forced to defend last, they've only given up one round. And they do have even Ubers here as well, or, will in a second when Asian comes up on 100, but commendable last defenses is the definition of damned by faint praise.
Well said. Yeah, I did really enjoy some of their last, where even when they had Dishad, they stayed in spawn for just long enough, right? And Walrex was able to get behind and distract some players. And even when it was some, like in these losing last holds, it's one of those holds where, man, if just one player lived 5 seconds longer, we would have been able to win it. So it's still quite the nail biter, which is why I'm especially interested to see what happens with this sniper, because you get that one pick and then bam, time to go. You smash that W button, like and subscribe. You got to enter into that last before the other player gets back up and the other team can adjust.
Yeah, although I will say my concern right now is that we haven't even seen Witness take mid yet, right? And once you take mid, even though, again, as we said, commendable last defenses, defending's the easy part. The one time we saw them try to push into mid, they lost 2 people in Valley before the Uber went off and then got forced without forcing back. So that does put concerns on my ability for Witness to really take any rounds, because one of the things why I'm personally a big fan of 5CP, as I thought we had an unpause, but I guess I just had a bit of a stutter, is that you need to be good at offense and defense, right? You're only good at holding W and dragging your knuckles screaming into the enemy team. That can win you some rounds if you are good at winning mid-fights, but you got to be able to play both sides of the coin, and it looks like Witness is only really able to play defense.
You know what, Alto, I don't know what Dolphin's up to right now, but you know the soldiers who have their legs just kind of waddling around in the air remind me of like when you have a dog and you hold it like over a pool or a bath or something.
Yeah.
And they're just waddling around a little bit. That's these guys are ready to hit the floor when that time comes, but I don't have the heart to tell them it might be a while.
That gif of the corgi slowly being lowered into water is one of my favorite things on the internet.
To your actual point though, I've noticed something too. What do you think about, like, if you have any thoughts anyway on the medics getting forced and dropped? Like, we've seen some really good bombs, but is that just Morning Light playing great? Is that maybe the scouts on Witness not quite keeping their eyes in the right places? Actually, we're live, so forget I said anything.
Well, I think Soapy Meister's been playing with a jetpack on, and not the crappy pyro jetpack, as much as I love it, an actual usable jetpack. But in general, I do think there could have been a lot more done to stop these Ubers. Yosh with the gun reposition, as it looked like ML had been favoring those right side Ubers, so the gun's going to be on the left now so that it can't get killed as easily. Even getting a dispenser up, as the coordinated cross spam from left and right takes it out. Sai going for a bit of a risky peek, alone in on his own right side, able to take that gun out, and it's going to go down again, unable to get anything up.
You know what happened there, Alto, is Witness was ready to stop them on the far right side, but then when they saw the sniper, say goodbye to that sniper, that is, when they saw Alpha, they had to back off, so the gun goes down, and now Witness is working their way through, but dropping Wallrex on their way is going to be a S button for sure.
Sandblast sliding around onto Sin Karma, gonna get dead on by Sai Stickies, actually. Didn't even realize those were there, but got a little bit too greedy with those traps, and that's going to be 2 down right now. Sin Karma's still on a 10-second spawn. The Uber comes up, Cuckoo goes down before the Uber even pops off, and Virgil drops Yosh. It is only Smile Z alive to defend this point. Walrex just getting the spawn, but they have nothing doing. I heard a spoon sound on an Ubered player, as Smiles is going to go down. Virgil, not much for the world, and Sin Karma able to take 1 back, but it is a 2-0 right now for Morning Light.
And there's the pause. Good thing that it came at the end of a round with no medics dropping, but that was actually very early Uber from Asian, which I like, because you make sure you don't drop any players, because you win that 5v3 any day of the week as long as everyone stays up, which we just got to have the fortune that we witnessed.
No demos are dead yet. This is a record.
Mom, get the camera! Asian does go very low, though, and even has to leave the mid.
Yeah, but Virgil's hard committing again over to the other side, and he's dodging some spam right now, and it looks like they've done a good job of splitting off the team. Asian alone with Yosh on Lego, gonna go down right here. Soapy coming in, can he find Virgil? Will not hit the rockets right there, so bomb failure, and the entirety of Witness Gaming is forced into ML's second, while ML has mid control? What is this
I
mid?
see you're new to the Whirlpool mid theory, Alto. It's you rock around the clock until it's over.
Virgil goes down though.
Wow. Luckily this time Witness is able to get everyone, but yeah, if you're Virgil, your only job there is to be screaming to your teammates, keep me alive, and Smiles is going for it. Yosh trying his best.
That was a drop.
Yeah. It's so sad.
I didn't see the crackle. I think he must have been just coming up on it, but man, I mean, like, he must have just hit 100 with that. So they will get second off of, you know, the delayed kills they found on that, but about a 30% ad for Asian right there. See a Rap Assassin go a little bit stray. They will be defending this second. No Uber for either team right now. This is Witness's point to really hold here, and this is their game to lose, but they're going to trade out Walrex for Dingo. And it looks like they're going to be secure on second, at least until that Uber comes up.
That was quite the scrappy fight, and Morning Light almost got scared that it was happening, even though they probably should have been winning it. And even now, finally, Witness realizing their slight Uber disad, they weren't quite able to get deep enough or get enough picks to stay in. They did get the point captured, so Virgil will be able to stay alive on this mid and get the Uber. So all in all, that's a B+ kind of play. Go
Like
in, get the
Yosh on
cap
Sniper
back
here,
out.
watching choke.
Even Ubers especially, but no Demo Man. Morning Light working their way in, and Yosh gets the pick on the Soapy Meister right away.
Another
a
on Sandblast.
headshot. Even, wow. Sandblast goes down, Sai is down. Now it's in the 6v3.
Even Surf's away from Dingo, will eventually go down, but gets the body shot to stall his rocket jump off, being even more of a thorn in his side. I think they just leave him behind right here. Walrex fighting him right now, and we see is that Smiles, yeah, Smiles and Virgil running into a now empty second. And this is their point to cap, so Tactical Pause doing wonders right now for Witness, as the entire kind of tenor of this game is turned around, but Smiles getting turned around on Dingo, landing a nice direct.
Oh, and you said Smiles turning around. I thought you meant they were sad, but I forgot that was one of our friends.
Virgil was
here.
forced here? I think that must have been by Dingo. They're going to try to get into last. They have a two-man player ad here. There is a chance they get this. Asians only on 60 right. They're going to go down, and it's just the scouts defending point right now. Good debt from Sin Karma, and we're going to see Witness come right back and take a round here.
There it is. That was the adjustment we're looking for. Yosh cracking that mid right open as soon as Morning Light tried to push, dropping 2 players to the sniper. That's going to be a easy hold for Witness, and they converted it into the round win.
Yeah, I mean, Virgil not necessarily getting rewarded for dropping that Uber, but the manner of that kill made it so that getting back into second for Morning Light was almost impossible. Soapy going deep into Cafe. Karma getting taken down, and there goes Virgil. The Scout Brigade is rampaging on this mid right there. That is 3 kills for them. Soapy's going to go down, but the quick turnaround, as we keep talking about these turnarounds coming out there, Sandblast and Soapy going to go down, but Sai is tearing through second, chasing Yosh back into last, and that is a delayed wipe.
That's one of those Sandblast mids, Alto, right? You saw, he's like, oh, Sniper tries to kill me live on stream. Just runs in literally a straight line and kills Virgil immediately. Someone takes no damage, gets in, gets out, like a demon's whisper.
I think he was almost timing Virgil's spawn and just guessed the wrong spawn door as he went flying into the team there, as they know that they've got time to run a sack, and Virgil's only on 40, so time for him to respawn, and they still get an ad push off of this.
Something interesting here is look how Witness is completely stacked on their own right side of last. So if they come into the right, they're going to stuff the Uber so hard. If they come in on the left, Witness is totally safe. So this is kind of putting all your eggs in one basket. And now, look at that. Asian had to force early, but no one contesting the cap time. It's 2/3 capped out, so just a little bit of a tickle will seal the round.
Someone's going to need to stay on that. Uber gets popped off from Virgil now. They took too long. Let him build. Frags are all in Morning Light's favor, but the health is not. Neither is the positioning. Soapy and Dingo going to get caught out in this back cap from Sandblast. Almost good enough. Will Sai be able to clear the point with stickies? Just Virgil, and they will get it. A beautiful kite and recommit from the other side from the Madlux, or I see ML and I think Madlux, excuse me, from the Morning Light combo. They're going to go up 3-1.5.
That was so, you really had it all figured out, right? When you get that Uber on last and Virgil's able to pop it just at the last second, but Alpha kind of hanging out unnoticed, undetected by Witness's spawn, and then just barely committing when the point was so close to being captured, moved that like 60% cap to a 90% cap, and then death by 1,000 cuts until the end of the round.
Yeah, it feels like that was a little sloppy from Witness too, where they just gave away that cap time for free. They baited them in on right, and they're like, yeah, we're going to bait them on right and kite left, but everyone kited a little too far left, and, if that cap doesn't get that high up, then Sai has more to do than just shoot 5 stickies on the point and det and get free kills over and over again. But, that slight maybe lapse in judgment there is going to ultimately change the course of the round, and yeah, Morning Light now looking at a 3-1 lead.
I happen to have the logs pulled up here, where I see that Virgil has 8 deaths to Asian's 3, so that's already going to win you a lot of rounds to begin with if you're Morning Light, but I noticed that our Pocket Soldiers both matching on 4 kills. It was very sweet of them to agree before the game. And other than that, does anything stick out to you in these logs?
Well, if I'm taking a look at these right there, I mean, Walrex not doing too great on the KD front. Sandblast doing the opposite, almost opposite KDs there. 6 and 16 versus 17 and 5, and I mean that just kind of goes to show as a testament to how much Sandblast has been doing, just not dying at all. And additionally, I think that while Asian had 3 deaths, one of those was on that first mid, and then I think 2 of those were in that round that they won really quick, meaning that all of those other deaths for Virgil, were just spread out over the course of the game. So which is part of the reason why it felt like Witness was always playing so down on tempo. And, credit to them for coming out and having that, I guess, more aggressive mid strategy. I'd have to, look back at it to see what they really changed other than, not losing Sin Karma right away. But they're just going to have to do more. And yeah, Virgil with 3 drops, another thing that you really want to clean up right there.
It does feel like for now, yeah, a lot of these players doing at least some work together. Sandblast being someone who stands out, but even Soapy compared to the counterpart Walrex, getting 5 more kills and also something like 80 damage per minute more is when you're up that much of a difference in a game that was like kind of close, that's just one of those things where, yeah, getting half the medic deaths is great, but having this, especially with so many of medic's kills being on the medic, that's now what's bringing them into this 3-1 score line.
Yeah, pretty low scoring too. I mean, barely 100 kills broken over the 4 rounds as we are readying back up. So 3-1 for Morning Light here. Things had been looking a little bit better for Witness as they came into that 3rd round, but it'll be on them to really, grab some momentum here on this early mid. Huge bomb from Soapy right away. Karma gonna pipe him and surf out. Great play there. That's exactly what they're looking for.
Very high bomb from both soldiers from Witness. It looks like Walrex goes down, but they already did enough to space out Morning Light from this mid. So it looks like aside from Alpha and maybe even Dingo, no one's contesting, but they're feeding in one by one, Alto. They can't make up their minds, and now Asian is even all alone without an Uber.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they were thinking there were just free kills on Virgil like last round, but they had so little pressure that there's nothing stopping all of Witness from just looking and lasering them off. I mean, I thought they'd only lost 1 player, so they might have been able to hold second, but Smiles going down may complicate that, but with the full ad on Virgil, they should have no problem capping second here.
And even with the scouts being such late deaths, they don't even have time to put up a gun. Luckily, Asian does get that Uber just in time, able to build fast enough without any scouts, but now we see the off classes of a heavy to stall out the Uber when it's in, the sniper to stop the Uber from ever even happening, or of course drop players before they can get flashed. So we're going to be seeing these teams square off in this last hole. Wait, Sandblast just decides to pressure forward as heavy and dies for it. Man, I've been saying the sniper is good to open last, but it turns out the defensive heavy is a Sandblast's particular favorite, I guess.
They're coming in right here. Big bombs out of Walrex, going to force Alpha back into spawn. No frags other than Sandblast from that initial part, but the cat's going to go in right away. No defense at all. I think Asian didn't even use Uber there?
Sandblast is too angry. Bring him back. Bring him back.
Sandblast did use Uber, that's what chat's telling me, but they didn't even attempt to block point with it. So 3-2 now for Morning Light. All of the momentum in Witness's favor right here. And a great mid from Sin Karma forces Sai all the way back out. As a Walrex feeds a little bit in Cafe, but gets some good damage out in the meantime.
Yeah, these mids, Witness is working so tight as a unit, as a combo here. Morning Light is kind of spread all over, but they commit on Virgil at the exact same time. Smile is able to save Virgil. Virgil living on just barely 10 health and instead dies just now at the as the mid is concluding here. So this is going to be a full Uber ad for Asian. As Sai working his way, trying to get out of the mid, and Cuckoo all the way back, maybe even going to spawn camp, but unfortunately
Walrex knows Dingo's right behind him. Gonna get that first rocket off for free. May go down here, yeah. He'll go down, and I mean, I just feel a little bit bad for the rest of Witness. Sin Karma had such a masterful mid there, and then it's like Walrex screaming Leroy Jenkins feeding, Leroy Jenkins feeding into Cafe. Kind of throws the advantage they had and opens the door for Morning Light to come back in, and now it's Morning Light with the full Uber ad outside of last.
Even with Walrex being such a late spawner, they don't go on that, Soldier just now being a respawner, and even not having a buff, probably not going to have crit heals if they take any damage, but no, they decide to take Sai and Sandblast in through their own top right. Again, no early cap time, which is very calm. Yosh just now showing his heavy. Oh, so much spam going in from Sin Karma. They're getting rolled. Yoshi gets 2 picks himself. There's only one left up. It's just Soapy Meister who's going to get cleaned up here. And wow, a full diss head to wipe the entire team. That is quite the performance.
Yeah, that is a full wipe, and for a good few seconds too. They will get second off of this. No one rolling. I was kind of hoping to maybe see Sin sticky jump and get an epic spawn camp up on the shutter, but not going to happen. A sniper coming up for Alpha right there. It's going to be called out as he misses his first shot, I believe, or he might have hit Ku low. Didn't entirely see that, but the mid coming in as well. This Uber ad just not anything that Morning Light wants to contend, and at this rate, they may be looking to get second off of this as well.
The Morning Light recognizing, holding their medic very passive, Asian chilling on bats, hanging with the sniper. They're locking off the doors as best they can.
Virgil gets body shot there. Not a drop, though.
And the force, okay. Yeah, a slight bit of spam might kill you there. One soldier jumping. They're not able to get anything out of this. They will finish it off with the point. But this is going to give Asian now a 70% Uber advantage, pushing out of their lobby.
Yeah, I mean, you maybe want to hold that Uber a little bit longer so you can remain even here, but going last to last is not something you'll shake the chance to, and I'm pretty sure Virgil's maybe going to pop Ubers a little bit earlier than normal to avoid a repeat of the last half. Some good spam coming out as Asian walks out of lower. Not too much of it gonna land, even though it might have looked good. Second being capped up right here, and again, this Uber is really just so threatening. Asian hit low, but I think the cap's just gonna come through.
Walrex does go in for that bomb, and Asian gets brought down to something like 20 HP, but not going to be quite enough, and it looks like Virgil will be able to get her Uber at this 85% now holding mid, but with 2 players having a respawn and then walk to mid, that's going to give enough time for Morning Light to make their way through with both scouts now capping the point, but Virgil walks forward with smiles, even Ubers, just trying to milk it for as long as possible. Oh, and the spoon just barely misses! We force Uber just in time. All the players on Morning Light are bunched up together, but look, Witness just got 3 kills, including both soldiers, now the demo man. Agent and Sandblast running, tails between their legs, trying to get out to the promised land of the final capture point. They do just barely make it with these even Ubers now, but fantastic performance by Witness, you know, deciding to stay committed and take the fight to Morning Light.
They are in last right here, getting sticks onto the spawn. Sandblast hit low, gonna go down, as will Soapy. The heavy coming up right there for Alpha. Will it be enough? Very low on Asian. Almost dead. The heavy's gonna go down, and that will be the round. So, storming out of the gates, Witness coming and tying this match 3-3. The backs of Yoshi's just insane plays right here, it looks like. Really stepping up big when his team needs him to.
It's one of those like, all right, if we're not winning playing normal, we got to make some big plays, and look at them capitalize on it. I want to see more, get more greedy, go for more sniper plays. You have to win this match one way or another, and it might as well be by your own hand, right, Alto?
Without a doubt, play the way that you're best at, not necessarily the meta. Dingo and Sandblast, super, you know, the Whirlpool theory continues to turn here. Virgil getting a little too close to Sandblast, though, may regret that decision. She goes down. Smile's gonna go down as well, and what looked like may have been an even mid very quickly turns into a rout for Morning Light, and they are looking in position to get onto match point right here.
I gotta give a lot of credit on the mid to Soapy Meister, who is chilling under the point, hidden and waiting for the right moment to pounce. Then recognizing that Sin Karma was alone, not caught in the whirlpool, which is oh, spawn camp trap. Virgil just goes down in her own spawn alongside Cuckoo Kachu, and now this if this wasn't a one last push before Alto, I don't know what else is.
Save you KDs, the boys and Witness may be saying, and now it looks like they will still wipe, put up the perfunctory last defense. But Morning Light comes screaming back there saying, you are not going to pull 3 in a row on us. And now they're up 4-3 on the match total. So another one of those, and we're over here. So Witness really going to be feeling the pressure to have one of those good mids we've seen them pull off before. To be a little more consistent.
What a trap from Psy, man. I'm going to keep my eyes on Psy, but Walrex just smacks Soapy Meister straight in the face, knocks him onto the floor, and leaves him out of the mid. Drains his life, but his team has so much space off of this. They're spread out all over the point. Yoshi been climbing on top of the bell tower.
Behind on Virgil.
The mid going down.
This whole Whirlpool theory seems to work, except that they don't turn around. They just assume that they're just going to keep circling each other forever and ever, like some messed up circle of ants, and then one scout goes a little bit faster than the rest of the Whirlpool, and Virgil gets a meat shot in her back, and that's the end of it. And this could just be the end of the game right here. We've seen the same thing happen on a ton of mids, where if Witness doesn't get an early frag, they just get out-rotated and lose.
Yeah, you notice on the last mid, it was Sin Karma was the farthest one back in the whirlpool. That's the one who gets killed. Now Virgil, the farthest one back in the whirlpool, probably as a medic should be, but then you get taken out. You know, Morning Light just waiting for the right time to go, and as soon as they say go, they go. As they take the Uber into last here, spacing out Witness completely. Sandblast even getting half the point capture and getting flashed just in time by Asian. Wow, even Soapy Meister staying alive, keeping the pressure up. Smiles on just 50 HP is heavy. That's not what you want to see. Virgil not even anywhere close to that Uber. And that's the game, Alto. It is a 5-4.
5-3.
No, 5-3. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and just... I'm feeling a little disappointed, man. Witness had such a good turnaround, and they showed such good pushes, but the same problems came back to bite them on every mid. They just... Every single time, without fail, regardless of whether they got a pick early, regardless of whether Walrex sacked for space early, someone gets behind and kills Virgil. I think there was one mid, and maybe that entire game, that Virgil didn't die on the mid, I'm pretty sure.
Man, that's exactly right. You know, like we talked about, their last defenses were actually pretty good. And when they were holding mid or trying to break into second and stuff, they did play it well. They capitalized on their Uber ads. It's just those mids. And especially in a pretty close game like this, I mean, 3-5, which took a decent amount of time. It's like you said, if you won just 2 more mids out of those 8 that we witnessed, you know, that would have been such a difference maker.
Yeah, and, you know, to your point that you had mentioned before about, you know, is the other team beating you or are you losing, right? I think I can definitively say Witness was losing. They were giving Morning Light so many opportunities to just pick up on their mistakes. And, you know, credit to them for having those high highs, right? And snagging those 3 rounds. I don't think a lot of people expected them to make it that close. But when push came to shove, you know, they left too many openings and Morning Light was taking advantage of them.
Yeah,
combined logs should be up, and Walrex not having the best time. That's a roamer stat line if I've ever seen one. Might want a little bit more damage though, but I mean, you know, the big players we pointed out on Morning Light, right? Sandblast having an incredible game, Sai as well, you know, just great performance. Had maybe that one mid where Sin Karma sniped him out. And that was about it. Really one of the only things. Soapy Meister tailed off a little bit towards the end, but anytime you start off 3 for 3 on med sacks and then you get a spoon kill and you're pretty good. And
yeah, even Yosh on his off classes was doing work on Sniper. Even now going 25-16, very good for his team. He does when you look at the medic deaths of 13 compared to 4, it's actually a surprise that it was as close as it was.
Yeah, I'd say so. The picks on Virgil seem to come very frequently. But speaking of picks on Virgil, one of those fraggers themselves, Sandblast from the victorious Morning Light, is here for what I believe is an interview. So, Sandblast, welcome to your normal casting channel. How was that win?
As expected.
What did you change? What was going through your mind when it did get to 3-3? Because you were so up in the first half, but then suddenly they got 2 quick rounds right after halftime.
We had 2 bad Ubers that lost us the round. That's all it was. We were on mid, they had better Ubers, and then we just lost because they killed us with a better Uber. I mean, if we didn't have those bad Ubers, it probably would have been 5-1. There's not really like anything in depth behind it. Like one mid, like it was 6v4. I think one of our players went a little too early as we were trying to get in for free off 2 picks. He died, and we also dropped Sai in the Uber in the later half of it. So I mean, they're gonna win off that. Like if they don't win off that, I mean, I don't know. Like it was just 2 bad Ubers. I'm not worried about that. It's whatever.
Can you tell me more about those mid fights? Because not only did you win 6 to their 2, but it felt even very convincing, even in those 1 or 2 mids that you did lose and didn't recapture right away. So did you have a specific strategy for them where they were kind of pulling that whirlpool?
I mean, they just never initiated at the right time. They kept rapping, and we were punishing them for that. Like their combo scout would play very passive, and we understood that going into the match. So instead of playing into their hand, we're just gonna let him bait while their soldiers jump in. But I mean, I think our mids are becoming one of our best aspects of the team. there's just small like niche things that we're kind of failing on, just like coordination with certain things and Ubers before Ubers, what we're doing, like trying to like work the flank with the combo and trying to. I guess we're getting a little greedy with milking Ubers, but it's like I said, it's water off a duck's back. I don't think anyone was worried that we were 3-3 just because we were very dominant pretty much almost every point of that game besides the two crappy Ubers we had.
Yeah, no, it was just kind of interesting because, we saw them take that tactical pause, something that I don't think too many TF2 teams tend to do. And it looked like it was working out for them until you guys just turned it around. I mean, you in particular had, I think, one of the best performances in the match. So did you go in, do you think it was a result of the strategy you guys had? Or do you think you were just you were feeling it and you knew you could win fights, so you were forcing the issue?
I mean, nothing. We didn't change anything in that pause. I mean, I honestly wanted to play Scriblio at the half because it was a 10-minute pause. So I kind of just waited, but no one on my team opted to play, which was unfortunate. But I mean, I'm just going to continue playing. I've been playing this season. I think I'm probably putting up some of the best stats in the entire season. I think that not a other single combo scout that isn't banning is nearly putting up the same stuff I'm putting up, and I think our team's slowly getting to the point where as long as we keep playing how we're playing and refining our certain strategies, like with me and Sai kind of being a pretty insane duo together since we've played with each other for so long, I think we'll be fine. Our team doesn't really care if we go down rounds or go even anymore. We kind of just play our game, and that's what we're going to keep doing throughout the entire season.
To kind of snowball off of that, I mean, you guys took a win in your last match against Corsia that I don't think a lot of the players were expecting you guys to, at the very least. So I think that's really signaling to the rest of the league that you guys are here to maybe swing above what some people might think as your weight level and maybe make a splash come towards the later end of the season.
I don't know why people don't think we were. I don't know why people thought we were going to get rolled by them. I think people just see names like Yite and Ash and think Ascent and think that they're going to roll everyone. When in reality, there's no Ascent. Like, Wonderwall has just as good as an opportunity to beat Corsia as we do. I mean, Corsia is still a great team. I just think that people are overrated them. I think that they're still a great team and obviously can still contend for second place. I think second place is open for 3 different teams right now, but I don't know why people just think that they see certain names on certain teams and just expect that X player to just win. I mean, it's whatever. It's kind of just like the stigma with TF2 with Froyo being number 1, Ascent being number 2, and then they just see people who used to be on Ascent and then assume they're number 2, which is fine. But I mean, I think people need to understand that the playoff race is for second at least is a lot closer than people would expect it to be. And that from the outside looking in, they need to just understand that, it's a lot closer than people probably think.
All right, some wise words. Rogue, you got anything else?
No, thanks for such a great match, Sandblast. We enjoyed it.
Of course. Standard.
Well, cool, calm, and collected is Sandblast after catching that dub, but I think that's going to do it for us on RGL right here. So, Sandblast and Rogue, any closing remarks?
Shout out to Pops and Morning Light. I mean, I'll keep saying it at the end every time I get interviewed, whenever people ask. They have a pretty good Valorant team. I think they just got ranked 11th in all of NA, which is pretty cool, and they're probably going to get ranked top 20 in the world. They're a really solid Valorant team. They also have a really good Rocket League team. They have an advanced CSGO team. Like, it's a whole org. Like, Pops is putting his heart and soul into it, so check him out. I know that he put a lot of time into it, going from Faint, going to making his jump and ship to his own org. Shout out to the team, obviously. I think that was, from a comms point of view and how collected we were that game, probably unironically probably the best we played as a core. I think everyone kind of had their impact. And shout out to Marmaloo and the Golden Cat podcast carrying the torch while I'm not there.
I give my shout out to Dolphin. All my homies shout out Dolphin.
All right. I will echo that Dolphin shout out, and shout out everyone watching here, coming in, watching some good TF2 gameplay on a Wednesday night, middle of the week. So, well, I guess it's Thursday morning now if you're on the East Coast, but thanks for coming out. I'm Alto, joined by Rogue, Dolphin behind the camera, Sandblast, and the rest of Morning Light victorious over Witness Gaming in a 5-3. Thanks for watching, and I believe we'll have another match for you tomorrow night, I think? Should be. Probably won't be me here, but we'll catch you then. Later.